Yeah, I think the goal of having any user conference is to bring our customers, because we have a diverse set of them, together and generate networking opportunities. So clearly we want to inform them about what they already have, what they can anticipate having from us in the future. Those are important, but the real crucial pieces are for them to build the relationships and learn from their peers, generate opportunities to talk later in life in terms of things that are going on in each of their businesses, because they're going to learn more about how to use our software and what's going on in the industry from each other than they're ever going to learn from us. We feel really fortunate. We've got nearly 200 people here at our first event. In the past, we've done regional road shows, and so those are fun. They're great to do. We get decent attendance at those as well, but we don't get that sort of synergistic effect in terms of bringing a bigger body of people together, and especially a body of people together from the different user communities that we have across sort of distributors, commercial warehouses, third-party logistics companies, transportation companies, and then companies that use our EDI tools as well. You put all those people together in a group, and they're going to obviously have learning opportunities if they never spoke to us at all. Well, what started this mission, if you think of it in that way, is we came out of an ERP background and a supply chain focused ERP background. And what we saw was a very fractured marketplace. Lots of very small companies, subscale providers of transportation solutions and warehousing solutions. And especially when you start thinking about ERP extensions, what it forced the poor customer to do was to figure out, when they had a supply chain need, what WMS vendor they were going to work with, what TMS vendor they were going to work with, perhaps what EDI vendor they were going to work with, and then how their inadequate or certainly subpar staffed IT organization was going to knit that all together into the solution that worked for them to allow them to compete with the big guys. So we saw a hole in the marketplace that we believed we could fill by going out and finding subscale companies, great solutions, great user bases, but perhaps not financed correctly, without the vision that we hoped we had, and maybe even the management capabilities that we had to pull these things together into a more unified whole, that we could provide an end-to-end supply chain execution solution, and then go back to that ERP customer, that third-party logistics customer that needed more supply chain capabilities, and give them a sole provider, and we could handle all of the knitting, if you will, under the covers, so that they had a single head to pat or a single butt to kick from a standpoint of responsibility and accountability to deliver that solution to them. You know, and it's tremendously gratifying. This is the first time we've ever had this many of our customers together in one place. It's certainly the first time we've ever had this diverse group of customers together in one place. And it's what we had envisioned and dreamed of when we started the company. So it's really cool to see them all here interacting, sitting at lunch tables, having those conversations, learning about their businesses. So I guess the surprise has been that there still continues to be opportunity. You know, you'd think going from nothing to nearly $40 million and being, in many cases, 10 times the size of our competitors, we would have saturated the marketplace. But we believe there's still limitless opportunity for us across the globe to take a look at these kinds of solutions, to deal with that small to mid-market customer and provide the end-to-end supply chain solution that we believed 6 years ago we could provide, and today we're delivering. I won't bore you with all the details, but we had this picture in our heads of this massive supply chain sort of ecosystem. And that ecosystem included everything from transportation to warehousing to EDI to reporting to business intelligence. And so we started out by buying two companies, one that was in the commercial warehousing software business, and one that was in the third-party logistics software business. And so our acquisition strategy was sort of like pulling a puzzle piece together. We knew we needed transportation, we knew we wanted supply chain intelligence, we knew we wanted all those pieces. So we built a strategy that was either build or buy or borrow. Borrow meaning partnering with someone where we didn't necessarily have the domain expertise to fill that specific niche. And we've gone from a single warehouse management system and a single 3PL to today we really have that end-to-end solution. We can offer someone the capability of bringing information in electronically through the trading network. We can manage the planning of all of the work that goes on within the receiving of goods. all of the work that goes on in terms of managing the goods once they're in a warehouse, doing the right kind of things in terms of picking, packing, and shipping, including parcel, including LTL, truckload, whatever they might need, and then managing the outbound EDI and all the visibility that surrounds it, both from an internal intelligence perspective, but also a supply chain visibility layer that gives the customers the ability to take a look at where their packages and shipments are from point A to point Z. Our strategy was to paint the picture first and then decide how we fit companies into it later. And ours was a growth strategy. So unlike a lot of acquisitive companies that buy things to sort of grind them down into maintenance mode, that was never our strategy. So first and foremost, for a new user or an existing user after we acquired, our message was clear. We intend to continue to invest in innovating your solution. What we did, we think, was innovative and creative. We built a platform, a new technology platform. And our goal was to take those solutions that were acquired and fit them into that technology platform. Either migrate them entirely into the platform so that they were a native component, or at least integrate them into the platform so that they could leverage the services. So that every member of the community, all the people that are here at this conference, would have access to the core components of the platform, and they would see a future not only by innovating in their existing product, but also the things we could do with the new platform going forward. Adrian, great question, and I think we have a pretty good answer. We started with building this platform I just mentioned before. One of its core components or core tenets was that it was going to be multi-tenanted and could be deployed both in the cloud or on-premise, because what we see in terms of the competitive landscape is sort of an either or, not a both. We see vendors who have gone after the cloud, and we see vendors who are still on-premise. We see very few vendors who have a single code base that can deploy it either in the cloud or on-premise. Our solutions are architected to be deployed in either location. So we give the customers a choice. You want to be in the cloud, we can handle that. You still prefer to have your arms around your data on-premise, we can do that as well. So cloud is a core piece of the fabric of our applications. Social, I think, is very interesting because when we architected the platform, we architected in the capability to push information out into the social networks. And so our system today can push things into Twitter, we can push things into just pull RSS feeds, we can do a variety of things from a social networking standpoint that we don't see a lot of our competition doing. Now, funny enough, as happens sometimes, we think we might be a little bit ahead of our customers because our customers don't see the benefit there yet. But we envision a future where you might have somebody that has excess inventory, instead of trying to sell it, they post it as a Twitter feed, and we have followers for that Twitter feed in terms of excess capacity, excess inventory, if you're a transportation company or you might be a distribution company. And then mobile, I think everything's moving mobile. We were at launch time with Microsoft. We deployed Microsoft Windows 8 tablet apps that were native to our application. And the beauty of it is our architecture supports all of that. So it's no different code base, it's simply a different user experience, whether it's an Android phone, an iPhone, or a Windows phone. From a Yammer standpoint, we believe we needed to give our customers the ability to interact with us on a social basis, as well as interact with each other on a social basis. So we use Yammer to build networks. We have a customer network, a partner network. We actually have an M&A network where we work with companies that might be interested from an acquisition perspective, and certain folks in the banking industry as well. Because it's all about currency and information flow. If I've got an ability to answer someone's question on a social network at 11 o'clock at night when I'm in Australia, that's beneficial for that customer. But more importantly, back to your question about why the conference, it really builds that virtual networking that people can't get every day because they can't be at a conference every day to touch and feel each other on a local basis. Good question, Adrian. I think at the end of the day, it's one of the cyclical things. 3 or 4 years ago, people were trying to keep the doors open to their businesses because we had the economic downturn, and so they were looking for ways to cut costs and improve efficiency. And so we constantly look for things that help them do that. Today, I think they're looking for ways to expand their businesses because they're past that economic downturn, and they're looking for ways now to creatively, with the staff that they have, expand beyond the capabilities necessarily that they've had in the past. And so you've touched on social, mobile, and cloud. I think those three messages continue to be delivered, and even in the questions we get asked, is how can we reach out more effectively to our customers? How can we reach out more effectively to the community at large in terms of making sure that we give people the transparency of information that they're looking for from our systems without necessarily requiring someone at the end of a phone to answer questions, provide quotes, do the things that typically supply chain providers have done on a person-to-person basis. 2013 is a good year for us. We're very blessed in the fact that the company has grown both from a revenue perspective and a profitability standpoint. Our customer satisfaction is probably as high as it's ever been since we started the company. We have a new financial partner that's working out quite well. So you add all those things up, it's been a great year. I think the future, as we look forward, we have a couple of goals and objectives. One is to continue to bring this community together more tightly, because there's a synergy that we can develop from the warehousing folks, the third-party logistics team, and the transportation people that we haven't fully capitalized upon yet. The second thing is we have a whole new product launch that's coming out early in 2014 that will take those three elements you asked me about before of cloud, social, and mobile and hypercharge them into the future even more than we're doing today. And then lastly is we're very, very focused on continuing to grow our company both organically and through acquisition. So we listen to our customers to find out categories of products, types of locations in the world where they may be expanding their business that would be good for us to be there along with them. And so we're constantly looking at opportunities outside of North America to grow our footprint, both from a product perspective and from just a global reach and support standpoint.